hiding from anybody. They're in your community. And in many times, there's meetings, like friend Al Anthony from Livingston, Mayor of Livingston knows this, where people don't necessarily agree with you. But nonetheless, you get energy from that, you learn, and people respect you even if they don't agree with you. So the Congressman's office, frankly, works very well with us in the legislature when there are federal issues with shared constituents. So that I give him kudos for, but this is inexcusable. And I hope that he thinks it through and is out here to touch the people he represents. I'd also like to recognize John Wisniewski, my colleague in the legislature, for being here. So, in my 3 minutes on climate change, I'm just going to share some things to me that are just so profound and so important. We've been keeping records about the climate of this earth since the 1880s, and in 135 years, the last 15 of the last 16 years have been the warmest on record. 2015, the warmest year, only to be exceeded by 2016, which now has the record. There was a peer-reviewed scientific study put out with 13,000 scientists worldwide were posed this question: climate change, do you find it real and primarily caused by human behavior, such as burning fossil fuels? 97% of the scientists agreed with that statement. Global warming is an urgent threat to our planet. Yet, Scott Pruitt, who's the head of the EPA, who frankly Congressman Freeman has voted to or I guess he doesn't he's not in the Senate. But I would suggest maybe that would be a question to ask of him, whether or not he approves of Scott Pruitt. I mean, a climate denier in that environment with 97% of scientists, qualified people worldwide, coming to that conclusion. Our new EPA director's official website, when he was the Attorney General of Oklahoma, says he was the leading advocate against the EPA's activist agenda. So let's mention a couple important things about the agenda, about the Clean Power Plan of reducing greenhouse gases from 32% by the year 2030. Higher fuel economy, 10 miles an hour or miles per gallon by 2025. That's the active agenda that he brought 14 lawsuits in 6 years in step with the fossil fuel industry to dismantle those goals and those programs. And all while getting about $350,000 in contributions from the fossil fuel industry, which, believe me, is a lot of money under any circumstances, but especially for the Attorney General in the state of Oklahoma. Yet in his Senate hearings, besides saying that climate change is unsettled, just against all mainstream facts and science, he's not going to recuse himself on those 14 suits that he bought. Even more telling, when he was the AG, when the state of Arkansas literally fouled, no pun intended, the waters of Oklahoma through the poultry industry, he did nothing to prosecute those lawsuits. You know, states' rights. What do you think the state of Louisiana, Texas will do as it relates to oversight of fossil fuels? What do you think West Virginia will do as it relates to the oversight of coal? I can tell you what we could use in New Jersey, where we have 114 toxic waste sites, more than any in the nation. We need an advocate. And no different than the state of New Jersey's legislature would have our parochial interests at heart. Well, if you put states' rights into fuel policy and energy, what do you think is going to happen? I, don't want to be negative, but I know one thing that we all, whether it's Democrats, Republicans, Independents, right? Each and every one of us, in one instant, as human beings, can face annihilation from nuclear proliferation. Now, for 70 years, those with that power have welded with great wisdom. Well, global warming may not be as instantaneous, but it's as lethal. I used to say, as I look around the room, in our kids' lifetimes, guess what? Maybe not me, but in the lifetimes of a lot of people here, you're going to see New York underwater, Manhattan underwater. You're going to see cataclysmic changes in our weather patterns. You're going to see drought and famine to the extent that you wouldn't want to be alive. It is our moral imperative as the leaders of the free world, to have policies in place as we were moving in that direction under the Obama administration toward the fight against global warming and the proliferation of fossil fuels. So with that, we have to call our congressmen, all of our representatives to task. So I'll be here to answer any of your questions. I know if you have the environmental heart that I do, I'm preaching to the choir, but it feels good to say, and we need to all say that. We're so happy to see the environmental issues, because usually it's all about pocketbook issues, and that's why nobody cares. And nobody's active, I shouldn't say no one, but the majority of people on the environment. So think of that issue as one that really affects your pocketbook, because it does, just as much or more than any of the others. Thank you for your time and attention.